Welcome to Chris Allen's podcast. And here comes the show. All right, welcome to the Chris Allen podcast. Yay! And now we're talking about the red wave that didn't happen. I actually called this one. I predicted there's a podcast called Here We Are. It was called Middle of the Road. I do with my buddy Jason E. Jones, and we discussed the future of politics. And he asked me what I thought was going to happen in the midterm elections. And what I thought happened. What's going to happen. Republicans made a major mistake. Well, they made a couple. One, they seem to forget that women vote. And they took away women's rights. You can argue with me all day long whether you feel like that's women's right, whether abortion be pro-life, pro-choice, whatever. Not the point of this conversation. If you guys want to have an intelligent discussion one day about what pro-life is and pro-choice and all that stuff, we can have an intelligent conversation. I've talked about before the podcast I did called Body Autonomy. You should listen to that one, where I get into the fact that it's not a personal view. It's laws that should be followed, and why you should have choice. It's not my personal morals. My personal morals don't create laws. That's how it works. It's rights and what rights you have over your body, all that kind of stuff. But that's the point. They got what they wanted when they created the Supreme Court, and the Republican Party created the current Supreme Court. Getting controlled by conservative judges, and they did that. They didn't think there'd be any results. Like, oh, we won. We got what we wanted, without paying attention to the current society. The current society as a whole, more people are support for pro-choice than pro-life. Yes, did you appeal to every church group and all these people who've been donating you money and giving you what you need to do this? Yes, you did. And you supplied to the people who vote for you the most. The problem is for you guys anyway, was that's not the majority of women. And it's not the majority of people. Every poll has shown the majority of people support pro-choice and the majority of women support pro-choice. Now, limits, regulations, all that stuff aside, that's not important. That is what happened. So you guys forgot that women vote, and they may not agree with you. Then you also did something else, and this one isn't necessarily your fault, but it's what happened. Y'all let Trump pick your candidates. And I don't say let because y'all don't have a ton of say the way primaries work. But Trump backed all these people in the primaries. And the problem with primaries versus a regular vote is primaries tends to be when only the most hardcore people come out to vote to pick the primary. And the most hardcore MAGA Republicans supported all of Trump's picks. So Trump's picks generally won all the primaries. They were able to primary out Liz Cheney and a whole bunch of other people like that. And that was all well and good, except for when it came time for the actual election, the midterm election, all the flaws of these candidates came out. These candidates were election deniers. They were the fringiest of the far right. Just the stuff that came out on them, like Dr. Oz coming out attacking a dude with a stroke, like really, doesn't even really live in the state he's running for. There's just problems with all these candidates. Herschel Walker, I'm pro-life. Oh, I've paid for a couple of abortions and have kids I've never seen, but I'm all about the family. And it caused all these people to lose. Now Herschel Walker hasn't lost yet. That one's going to Georgia, but it doesn't matter because the Democrats, already picked up a seat because they won the Pennsylvania seat with Fetterman, and already have secured control of the Senate, which was not supposed to happen and never happens. Like, it never happened. It's happened like once before. That was after 9/11, where the incumbent president always loses control of Congress in the midterms. It never fails. This is the first time it hasn't happened. He kept control of the Senate. Now it looks like they might still flip the House, which is actually a good thing, because I'm glad these fringy, crazy candidates lost. I wish more of the fringy, crazy candidates on the left would have lost too. I wish it would have stayed more even. But with the House being controlled by Republicans and the Senate being controlled by Democrats, they'll have to do something called compromise. Oh no, compromise. They'll actually have to work together. in order to get things done. And that's why we have two parties. That's why it's a two-party system, is to force compromise. That's the way it should be. And hopefully they'll ditch their craziness, not let Majority Taylor Greene run the Republican Party. Because that's the big talk right now is in the Senate. They're going to, not Senate, but the House, they're going to let Majority Taylor Greene push all these things through. And I'm really hoping the House Representatives realize, like, look, all this fringy stuff is the reason we lost the midterms. We need to rein that in and focus on policy. And because that's how the Democrats won. I don't know if you agreed with their policies or not. That doesn't really matter. That's what they ran on. They ran on, look, we did this. Look, we did this. Yes, these bad things are happening, but this is what we did to try to fix it. Let's concentrate on what we did to try to fix it and vote for us. And people responded to that. They keep control of the Senate. Actually, might even gain a seat in the Senate depending on what happens with the runoff in Georgia, because they're like, look, this is stuff we did. No, it hasn't kicked in yet because it's going to take time, but this is what we did. Inflation Reduction Act. This is what we did. This is the Build Back Plan to create more jobs and more infrastructure. This is what we did. This is what we did. This is us trying to help. Look, this is a bill we tried to pass, but we couldn't because we didn't have full control. This is what we did. And that's what they won on. They won on what they did. They won on policies. This is one thing the Republicans right now running are failing. And now I make this very clear. I'm not saying the Republicans don't have a plan, but I couldn't tell you what it was. They complain about inflation, and then their plan to fix inflation is to give a tax break to the rich. Corporations. That doesn't make sense to me. Explain to me how that works. They can't. They haven't. They won't. They won't even explain. Like, oh, there's all these bad things, but okay, cool. What's your plan to fix it? Oh, no, these things are just bad. You just got to hate the Democrats for doing it. I don't hate any person in office as a Majority Taylor Greene right now. But you have to give me a plan. If I don't have a plan, if you don't tell me what the plan is, I can't back you. And I tell you right now, 100%, if a Republican came out in the state of Kentucky, although that's where I am, Republicans all won anyway, even though Rand Paul's a nut job, and said, here's the plan. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I plan on fixing it. I'm going to do this, and it should do this, and it should do this. And if I think your plan is sane, I will vote for you. I'm not a hardcore Democrat. I'm not a hardcore anything. If you give me a plan that I think will work, I will vote for you in a heartbeat. And I will get on here and everywhere else and say, hey, look, they got a plan. But right now, and I'm not saying the Republicans don't have a plan, they just didn't say what it was. They're just really running on, well, the Democrats suck. Everything's their fault. And when you don't run on a plan, you put up fringy right candidates, and you don't remember that women vote, you lose. And you did. This should have been, and the Republicans called it Red Tusami, a complete takeover. And it didn't happen because of those three reasons. The American people are smarter than you think, apparently. You can only get so many votes running on fear. You actually, at one point, had to produce a plan and look at what people actually want. Period. We want legalized marijuana. Make it happen. We want, as a majority, pro-choice. Make it happen. The state of Kentucky, on its ballot, had an amendment that added to the Constitution that would have made abortions illegal in Kentucky in the Constitution. They're saying women do no longer have a right. This is a state of Kentucky. This is a red state. This state is always red. The only thing we ever do that's not red is occasionally we elect a Democratic governor. A Democrat governor. That's it. This is a red state. State of Mitch McConnell. State of Rand Paul. These guys have been around forever. It's not even ever close. They always win. The only way we're ever going to get anybody besides Mitch McConnell or Rand Paul is if they get primaried out to another Republican. No Democrat is winning in the state of Kentucky. You're talking, this is one of the states that sent money to all the pro-life people, like where they supported, right? But when it came down to it, when the vote was actually up, when they had a chance, Kentucky, the Republicans forgot women vote. And they came out and they voted. And guess what? They still voted to put Rand Paul back in office, but they also voted no on Amendment 2. So now there's no constitutional amendment banning abortion. Now, it's still not legal to get an abortion in Kentucky, but it's not in the Constitution. That means it can change. That tells you that's what people want, even in the state of Kentucky. Happened, I think, in Virginia, or Carolina, South Carolina, another state. Every time this stuff makes it to about where the people get to vote on it, it always comes out pro-choice. So you guys got to look at this and think about that and forget about your donors and think about the people actually vote for you and give them what they want. We want to legalize marijuana. We want common sense gun control, not take away the guns. But let's make sure people who only the good guys get the guns. Let's try to make some laws where it makes it harder for bad guys to get the guns. That's what we want. We want pro-choice. We want limits on it. We don't want them to be... Okay, look. Sidetrack Majority Taylor Greene right here. She says they're doing 40-week abortions. A 40-week abortion is a birth. If it comes out anything but a healthy baby, that's because there was something wrong with the baby. 40 weeks is a birth. It's not an abortion. Yeah, gotta... All right, you need to rein it in. Like, seriously, the level of crazy you're bringing on that kind of stuff. Woo! It's up there. You need it. Yeah, you need to bring that in. You need to slow your roll, hammer it down, bring it in. I'm tired of your crazy. And this whole Protect the Innocence Act you got going on with the transgender community, I could agree with parts of it, but I did some research. I can't find people this is happening to. I found one girl who at the age of 15 decided she wanted to be a boy, and they cut off her boobies, and then she changed her mind. And that's a problem. And I think I'll agree with you that there should be no surgical procedures until they're 18, or gone through a series of psychological evaluations to make sure it's not something that change, because young people can. But they're calling it they're cutting off boys' penises before they're I couldn't find a single case of it. I looked and couldn't find any confirmed case of this happening. You're trying to create a law and create sensationalism over something that isn't happening with your Protect the Innocence Act. So I don't know what you're doing there. You're just trying to make headlines. I mean, got you on Tucker Carlson, which I guess is every Republican representative's dream. But I wonder if you believe this or you're just doing it to get votes. And like, you've got a Republican seat in Georgia in a district that's going to vote Republican. They would all vote Republican if it was a potato. So you don't really have to worry about losing. Maybe lose a primary. That's about the only thing you have to worry about. So I don't know what you're doing, but rein in your crazy. Because at this point, I don't think you're actually crazy. I think it's an act that you put on to get elected. Just like I don't think you actually have any family values because you cheated on your husband multiple times. If you actually had family values, you wouldn't have cheated on your husband. So there's that. So yeah, your act is failing to sway anybody. It's why you have no committee assignments in the House of Representatives. And I'm not even sure if the Republicans do take control of the House, if you'll even get any back. God, I hope not. But we'll see. Republicans, don't make this mistake. We've made this mistake. The Democrats made this mistake. I keep saying we, but I will go both ways. Sorry. Don't go crazy trying to impeach and investigate everything rather than get things done. Don't be the Democratic Party against Trump. Don't do that. Don't become the Republican Party versus Biden. One, it's not going to go anywhere. You're never going to get them impeached. You're never going to get America on impeached. None of those things are going to happen. It's just going to be a waste of time. It's going to be a waste of money. It's going to be a waste of breath. Focus on things that get the country better. Any of this stuff I disagree with, if you really think it's going to make the country better, work on that. Do that. But yeah, no, I predicted this election, which is kind of awesome. I knew what was going to happen. How awesome is that? You know what? Hashtag Chris Allen Bill Maher. I need to be on the Bill Maher show. I need to be in their little round table. I need to get on there. Bill Maher, I'm coming for you. I want to be on your show. And if you can get Mitch McConnell and Majority Taylor Greene on the same time I'm on the show, please, I'd love to have a conversation with them. I'd actually love to sit down and have an intelligent conversation with Mitch McConnell. And I would bring crowns for Majority Taylor Greene so we could talk. We could communicate through crowns. Because, yeah. Okay. Oh, let me come over here and take a drink of my little soda. I got a little soda here. Yes, that's right. I am drinking Cheap Brand Diet Dr. Thunder because Cheap Brand tastes exactly the same as the regular brand, even though it's an uglier wrapper. And that's the same reason I can date ugly girls, because they all taste the same even if it's an ugly wrapper. Oh, that was my bad joke for the day. I ain't had a prop for it. We're going to talk about that another day. All right, guys. that's the show for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. Good times had by all. And no, I don't actually date ugly girls. Every girl is beautiful in their own way. And every girl is amazing in their own way. There is something beautiful about every person on the planet, and physical looks are not the most important thing. It was just a joke. Like I said, it's just a joke. All right, guys, that's the show. I hope everybody has a wonderful night, and I will talk to you later. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show wherever you're listening to this show. If you're listening to the Chris Allen Show, awesome. If you're listening to the Jason E. Jones Show, even better. We look forward to bringing you more contact. And if you want to help us out with that, you can hit us up at www.patreon.com/worstjokes and help fund the show. If you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to us at cman234 at Twitter, at @cman234 at Twitter. You can find on Facebook the Chris Allen Podcast. You can find Jason on Facebook, the Jason E. Jones Podcast. You can also find him on Twitter too. Just search for the Jason E. Jones Podcast, and you'll find him. We're all there. We're all here for you. If you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to an email at asktheangryninja@gmail.com. You want to be on the show? Reach out. Hit us up. We'll get you on the show. Interview. You want to come tell a joke? Tell a joke. We're all here. If you have an outrageous story, I'd love to hear it. We'll put that up too. So just let us know. And if you have anything you want to hear, let us know. Twitter is the best way just to let you know. So everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. Talk to you later. Bye.